Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing another book review. I just finished reading Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I did a buddy read of this with my friend Cassie and I did not enjoy it at all. Cassie, on the other hand, enjoyed it enough. So I will also be posting a review from Cassie. So for those of you who really like this series, feel free to talk to her about it, but it wasn't for me. In Truly Devious, we follow Stevie Bell during her first year at Ellingham Academy. She is obsessed with true crime, and what drew her to the academy in the first place were the Ellingham kidnappings that happened in 1936, I think. And during her time there, she hopes that she can finally crack the case and find out who Truly Devious really is. I unfortunately did not enjoy this at all. I'm probably going to give it a 2-star review, and really it's like a 1.5. I didn't care about any of the characters. The pace was way too slow. It took more than halfway through the book for anything interesting to happen. And then that one thing is pretty much the only interesting thing that happened. For me, this is as boring as a murder mystery could possibly get, and I didn't even know it was possible until I read this. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is raining, so if you hear background noises, that's what that is. As always, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone if you have not yet read this book, so I'm gonna give you your official spoiler warning because I not only would spoil the book for you, but I'd probably make you not want to read it. And I don't want to do that. So if you're interested in Truly Devious, you should probably wait for Cassie's review. It's gonna be a lot nicer than mine, but yeah. So typically when I do a book review, I start off with a review of the characters, and to be honest, I did not give a fuck about any of the characters in this book, which made it harder for me to get into, aside from the fact that I thought the plot was already boring. In the beginning, we get a little snippet from 1936 following Dottie, the student who ended up going missing the same year as Albert Ellingham's wife and daughter. And I really liked Dottie, right? Of course, she gets killed at the end of that chapter, so that story didn't last long. And then I thought that Stevie would remind me a lot of Dottie, but she didn't. And that was disappointing right off the bat. So then going through the story, I just felt like Stevie constantly did dumb shit. Like I could not agree with any of her actions or her thoughts. And I just, right off the bat, like I did not like the way that she just let Hayes talk her into doing whatever he said. That was weird. And I always felt like there was something off about Hayes, like something about him was just weird. The fact that he ends up dying kind of was a little bit of surprise, and that was like the most exciting part of the entire book, and then it kind of just went downhill from there. I didn't like Nate. I thought he was condescending and really rude. Until the end, I think he really came through for Stevie when like she was kind of dealing with her stuff, but otherwise didn't like him. The only character that I can say with confidence that I liked is Janelle, and I really appreciate how supportive she was when Stevie was having a panic attack, but otherwise I didn't like any of the characters. Ellie felt more like a caricature, and not like, I felt like the author just spent way too much time poking fun at her, pointing out how weird she is, and like just, I don't know. And I didn't understand why, but knowing that Ellie is supposedly the murderer now, that I don't know. I also find it strange that her name is Element, but whatever. I don't know. None of the characters in this book really made any sense except Janelle. Janelle and V are the only two characters that I care even a little bit about, and they're not the main characters, so we get very little of them, even though Janelle is Stevie's closest friend. I almost completely forgot to talk about David, which is super important because he's the love interest. Yeah, I feel really indifferent towards David. I don't really care about him or his presence, and I hate that there was even a romance in this book to begin with, and the fact that it gets introduced right after somebody dies just felt really fucking weird to me. Like, do authors know that it's okay to write YA that doesn't revolve around romance? Did anybody ever think of that? No? Alright. Another thing that I didn't like about Stevie is that she obviously likes David. There's obviously something between them, but like, why the fuck would you start going through his shit? Like, why, what, in what world did you think it was okay to go through his things? And then he's obviously upset, doesn't want to talk to her, so she finally tries to confront him about it, and then she has the audacity to get mad at him for being mad at her. Like, what? Make it make sense. You can't be mad at somebody because you fucked up. That's not how that works. The only parts of the story that I genuinely liked and looked forward to were the flashbacks to 1936. And for that to be the kind of the focal point of why Stevie is here, and you know, she has a plan to try to figure it out, the fact that we get to the end of the book and have learned nothing pissed me off to no end. I don't necessarily dislike when books end on cliffhangers. However, for there to be the Ellingham murders, right? Then Stevie gets the message from Truly Devious on her wall. Then at the end, she finds things that might connect Ellie to Truly Devious. The fact that we don't find any solution. Oh, and then there's also a riddle from Albert Ellingham, something about the staircase. The fact that there are 4 things that we need to find out in this book and we don't find out any of those by the end is what pissed me off. I feel like we went through all of this to get to this point for no reason. And especially the ending scene for Stevie to find all that stuff, right? And then instead of addressing that, you make a big deal out of who David's dad is. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about David. I don't give a fuck about Edward King. I don't give a fuck that that's his dad and he lied about his parents being dead. Why would you introduce this new stuff and then just go into something else, something that's not even important? So I have decided that I'm going to DNF this series. Like I said, my friend Cassie is gonna put up her review, and she probably will continue the series, and if she does, I'll continue to post her reviews through all of that. But I can't bring myself to do it. I felt like I wasted so much time reading Truly Devious, and I also made the mistake of buying the second book and pre-ordering the third, so I canceled my pre-order, but I'm probably gonna unhaul these books pretty soon because they weren't worth it. Editing here, just wanted to include a note about something. There was a scene in Truly Devious that I actually really appreciated. It's a scene with Stevie and Janelle when they're talking about V, and Stevie refers to V as her. It turns out V is actually non-binary, so Janelle corrects her, and then Stevie apologizes and corrects herself. Correct response, smooth sailing, love that scene. However, on the other hand, there's also a scene in the beginning when they're getting ready to go on a tour of the campus, and she makes a note of mentioning that there is a student in a wheelchair and another who is wearing a hijab. Now, that would have been fine if those characters ever made an appearance again, but they don't. So, friendly reminder that that is not how you create a diverse piece of work. That is not properly giving representation. It's nice that you want to make sure that people know that this is a diverse setting. However, one of them could have been a main character, considering your entire cast is white, able-bodied, and while religion isn't mentioned, if you're going to add a person in a hijab, why not make them a main character? So, just want to throw that in there. And even though I don't enjoy the story, I still want to know what happened, so I'll be looking forward to Cassie's reviews. But also, me being me, I went ahead and, since I already had The Vanishing Stair, which is book 2, I went ahead and read the synopsis. And I feel like it's starting to focus more on the romance, which I do not like. It also it feels like it's setting up for a bad situation because David's dad is asking her to do something, and like eventually David's gonna find that out, and he's probably gonna be mad about that too, and Stevie's probably gonna be dumb and not tell him right away and just be upfront about it. So there's gonna be a drama there, and I don't give a fuck about the romance. So if you don't already know, I am not a huge romance person in general. So the fact that this is supposed to be a murder mystery and a romance got thrown into it, it basically ruined it for me. I mean, I was already bored, but that was just like the icing on the cake. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, probably not gonna finish reading the rest of this. So for all that, I feel like continuing the series. Wouldn't even be worth it, really. I also do not like, so I have a physical copy of The Vanishing Stair, and on the back it's listed very specifically as a trilogy. However, I'm seeing that there's a book 4, and I don't know how I feel about that. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually read the synopsis of book 3 because I wanna know what's happening. Cassie, don't watch this part because I don't want to spoil anything for you. So go away. Okay, yeah, so if you've read Truly Devious and you're gonna keep reading this series but you haven't started The Vanishing Stair, don't watch this part. So I just read the synopsis to book 3, which is The Hand on the Wall, right? And apparently some stuff goes down in The Vanishing Stair because now 3 people are dead, which fine. However, it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly and they are naming the murders in order, technically Hayes' murder has not yet been solved. So you mean you go 2 books in and still don't find out how this kid died? That definitely does not sit right with me. Apparently David goes missing. I'm glad I decided not to read this because I can already tell you, if I did read the second book, I would feel like I wasted my time. And now I want to see what book 4 is about. Okay, so book 4, what is it called? A Box in the Woods, is that it? Okay, so book 4 is called The Box in the Woods, and it's whatever, all the stuff that I talked about that's unfinished by the end of Truly Devious apparently is solved in the 3rd book. So the 4th book, she's no longer at Ellingham, I guess, and she's being asked to help with a different case. So apparently she figures out who Truly Devious is. And because of that, she gains a little bit of notoriety, and now she's being asked to help figure out a case with someone called the Doll Collector, which sounds creepy as fuck, and the infamous Box in the Wood murders from 1970s. Yeah, no. I'm probably just gonna Google what happens or watch a spoilery review of the rest of the books because I'm not wasting my time in reading this, especially now that there's a book 4 when it was supposed to be a trilogy. I don't like that. I hate that with a burning passion. If it's supposed to be a trilogy, then just leave it as a trilogy. Don't go adding shit. Just leave it the way it is. I don't have any interest anymore. I thought this series was gonna be so good. I was so ready for it, and I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let that go. This one wasn't for me. So, yeah, I'm DNFing that series. I don't care. I'm interested to know what happens, but I'm not gonna waste my time reading it because I know I'm gonna be mad. Anyway, I am currently reading The Dressmaker's Gift by Fiona Valpy. I got it on Kindle Unlimited, so I have the ebook and the audiobook, and I'm listening while I follow along. It's pretty interesting. It's a World War II novel, and I think I'm almost halfway through at the moment. I also pulled something else out of my TBR jar, but I can't remember what it is. In addition to that, I bought, so y'all know I don't like romance that much, but I am going to try. I bought Get a Life Chloe Brown, and hopefully I'll be able to squeeze that in this month as well, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I've already decided though, regardless of whether or not I like it, I'm also going to read Take a Hint, Danny Brown. We'll see how that goes. But those are next on my list. Let me know what y'all thought of Truly Devious though, because I was really disappointed. I thought I was gonna like it so much more, and I was so ready for it, but it just didn't do for me what I thought it was going to. So, but let me know what y'all thought of it. Unfortunately for me, it just did not give me what I was expecting, and I don't care about the romance. It was boring, the pace was way too slow. So I'm just I'm not gonna bother. I'll also be doing part 2 of my problematic authors video pretty soon, And yeah, I think that's it for now. So I'll see you in the next video.